So it's day 3. I'm back again for the third day of the series. Yeah, I don't really have much to talk about today. Honestly, today's been, we'll call it productive, not predominantly work-wise, but in regards to mentally and clarity in my head. Yeah, it's been pretty productive. I came into this series not really with much of a plan as to what I was going to do, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of knew what I was going to do, of course. Like, I had a vague idea, but yeah, I went on what I mean, I don't wear an Apple Watch. I wasn't tracking the steps, but what I would imagine was probably a 15-kilometer plus walk today around Porto. I just kind of walked for ages, just aimlessly walked. Literally didn't buy anything. I literally just walked for about 12 miles or some shit. So, yeah, today it's been productive. I kind of just walked and I didn't listen to music at all. I literally just walked for ages and just thought to myself, everything, right? Because I don't think nowadays people actually spend time to actually think in their own head. Like, people aren't able to kind of just sit there in their own mind and just fucking stare at something, like stare at a wall. You wouldn't be able. Most people can't do that, right? I don't know why. I couldn't give you a reason why. I just feel like people just can't do that. Yeah, today I just kind of did that for an extended period of time. And yeah, I have a strong understanding of what it is I want to do. I think the main problem was initially with this is because I didn't really have a purpose. I didn't really know what I was going for specifically. I had ideas, of course, as I said, but it's hard to actually find the motivation to actually do something when you don't actually know what the fuck it is you're doing. It's like trying to. I was gonna whip out a shitty analogy there. It's like trying to run the 400 meters around the track with your eyes shut. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get to the finish line, but it's fucking difficult if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So yeah, that's kind of where I was initially. I have an idea now, so that's good. I think it's just a lot of it is understanding what goes into it, what I need to do. And yeah, I think outreach is going to start relatively soon for this thing I'm doing, to which, I mean, hopefully soon, man. The VSL's recorded, that's fine. It's more down to actually me actually sticking to my word on the volume front and actually outreaching to enough people, because if you don't fucking message people, no one's going to fucking work with you, you know? So you need to start outreach, and that's like the most important part of any success, right? So that's where I'm kind of at now. That's going to start relatively soon. There's other things that we're doing as well, but the problem is that I don't really understand. It's not very clear, the whole payment front structure of it all. So I need to speak to people on that, because I think another thing is that if you're running a business and money is you're not exactly like, you haven't got an abundance of money in the business, you don't want to kind of mention money, right? It's just kind of a thing. If you don't have much money in the business, you don't want to talk about it, because I don't know, you just don't want to get kind of fucked over and go down further down the line and be like, right, I could have got this cheaper, I could have got this at a lower price. I think it needs to be something that's clear clear as light of day from day one, because it not only allows everyone in the business to be more clear, it allows more incentive in the business, it allows people to work harder because they know what they're getting in return for their time. Because if people don't know what they're getting in return for their time, maybe they have a vague idea. They're like, maybe I'll get this much, or maybe it's going to be around this much. It's not clear, right? You don't know what the fuck you're working towards. It's just like an idea, which I don't think is the best way to work. Well, it definitely isn't the best way to work. So we need to be more clear on that. I think we need clarity on that, to which I need to speak to people on that. That's just like running the business in general. So that needs to be sorted. As for my social media personal brand, that's my key income source at the moment. So that needs to be sorted before anything else. As for my personal brand, I gotta say, I am kind of struggling on that. Not because I don't want to do it, because I do want to do it. I would die for a fucking following, because I know the things that you can do with a following and leverage you can take with that. But in regards to actually doing it, I don't know what to post, and it is a problem, because now I've got over the bar of like what the fuck I post. I know what I'm posting. Like, sorry, I don't know what I'm posting. I'm happy to post. I don't give a fuck what I'm posting. I just don't know what to post, which is a problem, because I can't just like post one thing that completely doesn't correspond with another thing that I'm posting. It's just two different things. Yes, it's all right to post, just post stuff, but if you're trying to speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one. So I need to kind of nail down on what it is I'm posting, and at the moment it's quite tough. And as well as trying to stick to my personal promise of posting 3 times a day, it is fucking tough, because I don't know what I'm posting and I don't know what I'm doing. I think once I get over that barrier, it'll be fine. But right now, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't have a process in place either for making the videos. So, yeah, that is a problem. I mean, I have an editor when I use him, but I think once I've got a lot of capital that I can just spend, then it'll be so easy to make a personal brand. I think I'll focus on YouTube more than TikTok, because YouTube, I enjoy that more, but TikTok then again is good. So I do both, but YouTube will be like a thing I can be consistent with, because a lot more time can go into the videos. I can upload like once a week, once every 2 weeks, something similar to that. I think that works. But yeah, you'll also notice that this is the first video I've done in this series without a hat or a hood on my head. So yeah, there's a hair reveal, guys. But yeah. Anyway, I walked today and I just kind of thought about everything I'm doing, and now I have a clear mind on it all. I know what I'm pursuing. I know what my goals are, and I also came to the understanding that I do get in my own head a lot, and I do overthink things a lot. And I am always worrying about certain things, and I don't actually know what those worries are, because then I write them on a piece of paper and it doesn't really actually make sense as to why I'm worrying so much, because everything on paper is like, it's fine, I'm not going to die, I'm going to have a roof over my head, and the worst that's going to happen is there's not really anything bad that is going to happen, because worst case scenario, if I lost everything right now, I could easily go and get myself a job. I know that sounds egotistical, but the portfolio I have allows me to do that. So yeah, like I'd get a job to build capital. I wouldn't be a job forever, because that's not how I want to live. But I would save money. I wouldn't spend anything. I would just save capital, because I like to think I'm pretty good at doing that. So yeah, I do get in my own head a lot. I think a lot of other people do as well, especially in the entrepreneur space, because nothing's guaranteed. You don't know everything. Every day goes by, and you feel like a feather in the wind. You don't really know what you're kind of doing. There's no guaranteed outcome to anything it is you're doing, but you kind of hope, and that's what entrepreneurship is. Which at the moment it's going all right, but I mean, I'm only 20, so I mean, I worry a lot more than I should do, I think, because I'm here in Porto. I've kind of accomplished what I set out to accomplish, to move out to a place in Europe for an extended period of time, yet I'm now here and I don't appreciate the fact that I'm here enough, and I want to move on to the next thing. So I need to kind of sit back and relax and just kind of think to myself, I'm here, I'm doing well, I've done what I wanted to do, and then it's time to move on to the next goal. But while I'm here, I need to appreciate the moment while I'm in it. Because if you're always sat there thinking about the future, you're not going to enjoy your life. Like you want to live in the present as much as you physically can. So that's what I kind of did on that walk, but I still don't think I'm doing that enough here. I'm always thinking like, oh shit, I need to make money by this point. I want to make money by this point. I want to do this by this age, which I guess is a good thing, because it gives me drive and it gives me a reason to get up every morning to an extent. But like, you want to be happy. You want to be enjoying the things you're doing as well. There's a balance to it all. But yeah, I am on a mission to make 10k a month, and I'm not gonna make that 10k a month in a good period in a good period of time if I'm sat here so-called enjoying the moment every single day. So I need to have a balance, as I said yesterday. I need to have be intentional with my time, work these hours, enjoy these hours. And yeah, but I just need to have a plan in place for those hours. Because if I go into those hours of, let's say, 8 a.m. to 12, I'm like, right, I'm going to work from 8 a.m. to 12. But if I don't know what the fuck it is I'm doing in those hours, then my whole day just gets fucking ruined and it's unorganized, it's shit. I then get worried in the evening because I'm like, oh shit, I haven't done much today. I need to do something for people. I might get a bit of workload here. I might have to do this. And then nothing's organized. So the best way for my clear state of mind is to go about the day organized from the night before, or at worst when you wake up, as soon as you wake up. But I think that just kind of ruins the flow of the day if you wake up and then have to plan your day. So I think it's best to do it the night before. And then once you've got all the tasks done that are on your to-do list that day, I think you can enjoy your day much more because you know what you're doing. And once you finish those things, unless something else comes up, you can kind of go to bed somewhat fulfilled. But then there's always that niggle in your head of, I could be doing more. No matter what you're doing, you could have done a 12-hour day and you've got 4 hours left of your day. And I don't know whether that's just my naive self, but I'm sure other people can relate. You feel like you can be doing more. At those 4 hours, I could have done more work, you know? And also, I feel like those 12 hours, I could have done much more optimized, but that's just life. So I need to be a bit more chill on myself, and but also I need to work much harder in the time periods that I'm working, and also have a clear understanding of what it is I am doing in advance to actually starting what I'm doing, and then get those fucking things done with no distractions in between. So there you go. There's a little lecture. I imagine some of you can probably take some value from that, because I imagine it doesn't just apply to myself, and that just kind of applies to entrepreneurship in general. So yeah, that's like the main thing I wanted to really speak about today. There was a tweet I came across today. I'll read it out now. It kind of ties into what I'm saying ish. Read it out. Hold on, let me find it. Okay. Anxiety is when you want something, but don't make the efforts to go get it, and are distracted every day by mindless entertainment instead. Peace of mind is when you want something, make a clear plan to get there, and actually steadily get there day after day, year after year. So anxiety, I think, is kind of two things, but it's also one thing at the same time. If you're sat there anxious, you're sat there anxious about what could happen, right? And I'm saying this not as a Buddha, not as a monk guru saying, oh yeah, I've overcome all this shit, because I haven't at all. I have this problem quite badly. I'm worried about nothing, I think. I'm worried about nothing all the time. But it's something, but it's nothing. I'm worried about the future, but then I'm suffering in advance for something that's probably not going to happen. And if it does happen, it's going to be a lot better than what I think it's going to be like in my head, if that makes sense. So I think I just need to kind of chill out on that regard. But also, if you've got worry about something, that worry is not just going to go away unless you go on like a retreat and start like doing some crazy hippie shit. That worry in your head isn't going to kind of disappear. By no means. It's not just going to go like that. So the best way for that to somewhat disappear is for you to actually take action on what it is that's going to stop that thing from happening, or make that thing that you're worried about happen. So if you don't do anything about it, and then you go and mindlessly consume TikTok to make yourself feel better in the moment because it takes your mind off of things, then you're not treating anxiety, you're somewhat making it worse, and you're just simply making it worse. And I think that is a problem that I have, and as I imagine a lot of other people have. So yeah, I'm just kind of speaking from the heart, man, because this is a problem I have a lot. And yes, I did wake up at 7 a.m. today, by the way. I did. It wasn't fun, but I did. But yeah, I think you want to, if you have anxiety, you want to, in my opinion, this is why I have journals. If you've got anxiety about something, first of all, what you want to do is I read this in a book, rather than have them rolling around your head as aimless marbles, just marbles that aren't in a little hole. I don't know if you've seen that marble game where you can move them around and stuff, and like it's almost like drafts but marbles to an extent. Rather than having them like aimless marbles on a table, you put the marbles into place, And then you can understand, okay, this is this thing, this is this thing, this is this thing, and you can fully understand what it is you're worried about. And then from knowing what it is you were worried about, you can then take action to not be worried about those things. So say for example, I don't know, you're worried that you're not going to pay rent at the end of the month. Okay, you're worried about it, cool. But you then got to do something about it, otherwise you're just going to stay worried, and it's going to get worse as time goes on, because the time that you've got to pay rent is going to get closer and closer and closer. So instead of worrying about it, which isn't going to help you in any regard whatsoever, you put it on a piece of paper and you be like, right, this is my main worry, this is what's ruining my mental state day after day. I'm now going to take action on it so that it's no longer a worry, or it's a lot less of a worry than it was initially. And the best way of doing that is to take action. And once you take action, you'll be like, okay, I'm actually progressing towards my goals. And now that I'm progressing towards my goals, I feel a lot better, because I'm actually accomplishing the thing that I was worried about. And now that I'm accomplishing it, it no longer needs to be a worry, because I'm actually doing the best I can to stop it from being a worry. So there's a lot of ways to kind of combat this, but I think the best way to combat anxiety is to simply get a book, preferably analog, so I mean pencil and paper, or pencil, whatever, pencil and paper, and to write down, bullet point list, everything that you're worried about. And it makes, because it's so big in your head, you're like, shit, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about this. If you're on a piece of paper, it looks a lot better than it feels like in your head. It's like, okay, it's only like 2 problems. Yes, there might be major problems, but you're like, okay, it is only 2 problems. If these problems do arise, what's the worst that's going to happen? Okay, I mean, you could go homeless. That is not the best outcome, but it makes you realize that most people, their worst problem isn't actually that bad. Obviously, it's not ideal. Say you can't pay your rent and you get unemployed. I mean, even if you get unemployed, you can just get a new job. I mean, obviously, it's not easy. It's not as easy as saying that. If you wanted to say get a new job, I could go up to any homeless man in the street and say get a fucking job. So it's obviously not that easy for most people, or a lot of people. So, but the worst case scenario, if you can't pay rent, is I mean, if you're lucky enough, you can move back with your parents, or there's family that would kind of let you live with them. That's the worst case scenario. Sorry, the worst case scenario would be going homeless, but I'm sure you have friends or family, unless you're really unlucky, which I'm sure sadly some people are unlucky in this scenario. But if you actually realize what the worst case scenario of the majority of people's worries are, they're not actually that bad, I think. Again, I am 20, I can be classed as naive. I imagine I'm very naive on a lot of topics, and that just comes with the age that I am. But that's just my take on it. And if you write down your things you're worried about, you feel so much better about yourself. And if it starts to then kind of like go up and exponentially grow again, the anxiety, just read back on it again and be like, it's not this bad, it's not that bad. And as long as you're doing what you can to combat the anxiety and sort out the worry, whatever the worry may be, you're always going to feel better about yourself, because most people nowadays, they'll have a worry and it clearly isn't that fucking important, because if it was that important, they would take action on it. Instant action, like actual combative action. But most people, they'll combat their worry with sorry, the dishwasher's going off. With what's the word? I literally wrote a blog post on this like the other day. With an automatic coping mechanism of checking their phone or going on TikTok, because it allows you to somewhat forget about your worries, and allows you to escape from your problems. So if you're doing that every day, you'll come to realize, shit, my problem isn't actually that bad. Why am I worrying about it so much? But until you actually combat the habit that is ruining what you're worried, like until you combat the habit that you're that is harming you, you're just going to stay in the same cycle. So that just leads me on to another whole conversation topic of how to get rid of a habit, which I'm not going to do right now, because then the video is going to be about 2 hours long. I've probably been talking for way too long anyway. It's only been 19 minutes. So yeah, that's my kind of take. I mean, yeah, I think I'm worrying a lot less now. I understand my scenario, and unless something major happens, I'm not going to be sat on 0. And if I am somehow sat on 0, then I can just stay from 0. And luckily I'm only 20, so I can just live with my parents on 0 and it goes from there. That's the worst case scenario for me. So I think, apart from the only other issue is the reputation from other people, but you can obviously regain that. But then you shouldn't really worry about what other people think of you. But then again, I mean, you don't want to look like an absolute bum. So there's two sides of the coin. But that's my take on it all. And that was my main kind of concern today. I'm lucky. I'm somewhat happy that I've kind of found a solution for what it is I'm worried about. My camera is lagging. I couldn't tell you why, but you're gonna have to deal with it, boys. So that's my take. If you're worried about something or you've got anxiety about something, write it down on a piece of paper. My camera is lagging. I'm really sorry about that. We'll just sort that out for tomorrow's video. So yeah, if you're worried about something, write it down. Write all your worries in your head down on a piece of paper, and you'll realise they're not as bad as they are. Then combat them as best you can, and hopefully that will ease your anxiety somewhat. And yeah, other sides of the story to actually my storyline of this challenge, I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing, which is good. I just need to work towards that now. And as for my personal brand, in all honesty, I don't know what I'm doing in that front, but I'm going to upload a video to. I need to record a new video. I'm going to upload a new video in the next few days, which isn't one of these videos. I'm going to do a apartment tour when my friend arrives on Wednesday. So yeah, that's the best I'm really doing. But if you want to grow a personal brand, the best way is to do it on TikTok at the moment, I believe, unless you know how to crack the algorithm on YouTube and you have good videos and good editing production quality. So yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. But I think the main problem is the main concern right now is building capital. And if I can keep posting, cool. But that's not my main concern at the moment. So yeah, I hope that was insightful for all of you. I feel like that could have given some value there. I think I'm quite happy because these. Oh, my camera's working again now. I'm quite happy because these videos, they feel somewhat informative, and I feel like things so wet, man. Yeah, I feel like these videos are quite informative, and I enjoy talking about them because I feel like I'm somewhat providing value to other people if they actually take the time to watch the video, because these changes helped my life, and they're coming organically. They're not coming artificially from other people's word of mouth without me actually using them. These things I've actually used these coping mechanisms in my life, and yeah, and I've learned them from some of the best, which was, I mean, authors, old books, not new books. New books are all shit because they're all money-making schemes. But old books where people wrote them just for the love of heart, and actually did it to provide value to people. So the best thing, if this video is somewhat stuck with you and has been valuable to you in regards to the anxiety stuff, I think the best book I can recommend to you is what's it called? Stop Worrying and Start Living. I think by Dale Carnegie. I think that's the title. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. That's it. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. I'll put a link in the description. But that video changed my life in regard to how I actually go about my day. I wouldn't mind rereading it, honestly, because I feel like I've forgotten a few of the principles and how to apply them. But yeah, there was a few principles in there that absolutely changed my life. I think the one that stuck with me the most was living day by day and realizing I'm not going to die today. No matter what happens, I'm still going to be here tomorrow, unless something freaking bad happens. But the things that I'm worried about aren't going to have that much of an impact on my life today. So there's that. And also, this doesn't tie into the book whatsoever, but there's so many bad things going on in the world. I mean, there's the war in Israel and stuff. And all of those people would love to be in the situation I'm in right now. Love. Even the fucking people at home, man. I'm so lucky to be sat here in Portugal right now, on my own, with my friend coming on Wednesday. I'm so lucky to be here. And people would love to be in my situation, yet they live day by day wondering if they're going to die or get bombed tomorrow, which I know that sounds really morbid, but it's true. So I think I've just got to appreciate the day that I have and appreciate the life that I'm living, because it could be much, much, much fucking worse, man. So I'll leave it on that. But if you want to read the book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie, I highly recommend reading that. I'll put the link in the description. As for everything else, if you want to, please like the video, would be appreciated, because I haven't said that before, and my videos are getting like 30, 40 views, and they're getting like 1 like, not even 1. So if you want to like the video, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you want to drop a comment, that would be also very much appreciated. Not so much for algorithm stuff, but more just to get some feedback, and also people's takes on some things, if anyone's actually watched 25 minutes into this video. But yeah, other than that, boys, I think I've just got to stick to my word a bit more and stop lying to myself. And actually do what I need to do and live more intentionally. So yeah, anyway, I know what I'm doing now. I just need to put it into action, and I need to talk to some people. So appreciate you, boys. Thank you for watching. If anyone has actually stayed until the end again, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I imagine you probably are. I imagine I'm not getting too much organic reach from this series, but whatever. If you want to like the video, would be appreciated. And if you, more than anything, if you want to drop a comment, that would be appreciated. I'd be over the moon if I could get a comment, that's all. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you have done, lots of love, and I'll be back live. I'll be back tomorrow night, similar time. So thank you for watching, and yeah, I feel like I've kind of gone on way too long. Anyway, cheers, thank you for watching, and I'll be back live tomorrow night. Back live? Back. My video will be back tomorrow night. Okay, cheers, boys.